if you can get juice from a potato.
What do you have there? What does it do?
It propels to spitball trap out.
Right here.
Up to spitball and
She's a star, so she gets a big, she gets a big
Spitball.
spitball shooter thing. Yes, yeah.
You only get the
She gets the extra handy dandy equipment.
He gets a full stick.
I want. Hey. No, hey, wait. Can we get a close up of this? Can you get a close up of this one?
Stand up, yeah. You go, boy.
Hey, could you?
Ready to demonstrate spitball or five now?
You see there's roll of paper and you get a gallon and a fresh spit, and then you spit here and you go a little target in this thing, my jig, and then you spit in this big one, this jig, and then you spit right there, and then you blast it. Dry wash.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl here, MJ's Nia. Welcome to the channel. So yes, there are some new allegations coming out about Dan Schneider. We're gonna get right into it. Nickelodeon and all that. Lori Beth Denberg alleged Dan Schneider showed her porn and initiated phone sex. So I'm gonna play this audio for you guys where she break it down in details what was going on while she was working with Dan Schneider, and then we're going to talk about the other things that people already talked about in the past about Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. But let me first play this audio for you guys, and we'll come back and chat about it.
Nickelodeon and all that alum Lori Beth Denberg alleges Dan Schneider showed her porn and initiated phone sex. Lori Beth Denberg, the former Nickelodeon and all that star, is making claims against Dan Schneider. In a new interview, the former child actor says Schneider showed her porn, initiated phone sex, and more when she was a teenager. Denberg told Business Insider that on her 19th birthday in 1995, Schneider showed her pornographic clips on his computer, saying, "I feel like that is the first time he preyed on me." The comedic actress starred in the sketch show between 1994 and 1998. Denberg also alleges that they would give each other massages when she was over at his place. One night, when she was 20 or 21, she said that he fondled her and put his mouth on her breasts. Denberg also told the publication that she voiced her concerns to then-president of Nickelodeon Albie Hecht and all that co-creator Brian Robbins over Schneider's treatment of Amanda Bynes. The actress claims that she was barred from the set of the Amanda Bynes show. "I felt like I tried to help her, to help Amanda, and couldn't," Denberg said. In a statement to Deadline, Dan Schneider calls Denberg's claims wildly exaggerated and, in most cases, false. The fact that an executive producer of Quiet on Set would pursue allegations regarding what may have happened between adults nearly 30 years ago, only a week after I filed a defamation lawsuit accusing Quiet on Set of being intentionally false and misleading, seems more than coincidental, reads the statement. Schneider admits to having made mistakes and exhibited poor judgment as a leader at the early stages of his career, adding, "If I did that with respect to Lori Beth, I sincerely apologize to her. But I cannot apologize for things I did not do."
Okay, so you just hear that from Lori Beth and what she had went through. She even tried to protect Amanda Bynes, and we all know the story with Amanda Bynes. She is really going through mental illness, and we're seeing it pretty much over social media. If you did not know what's going on about Amanda Bynes, I don't like to show her, so I'm not going to show Amanda Bynes in that nature. I hate seeing those photos because I know I have a loved one who goes through mental illness, and I know what they go through. They struggle through a lot, and it comes from trauma on a child at a very young age. And basically a lot of people, we allegedly we believe that it has to do something with Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. So she pretty much, cleared the air on that to let us know that yes, something did happen with Amanda Bynes, something did happen with her, and I'm happy that she did spoke out about it. But you hear what Dan Schneider said, that the story is over exaggerated a little bit, and this stuff is not true or whatnot. Let's go back to his words. So I want to repeat the same words that he said. Schneider admits to having made mistakes and exhibit poor judgment as a leader at the early stages of his career, adding, if I did that with respect to Lori Beth, I sincerely apologize to her, but I cannot apologize for the things I did not do. So he's not even taking accountability for the things, if these things did happen. But I do believe Lori Beth, because people have been talking about this in the past. The first time I heard about it was with I would have to say when Choice had made his documentary. I've heard things before, but I would have to give a shout out to Choice TV. He did a good documentary on this. Go check him out. I'll put a link down below in the description box so you guys can go see it. He did a very good job with the documentary, so go watch it. Also, there's somebody else coming out about him. So let's go over there and play that audio. I'm gonna read the the title, and then play the option for the audio for you. So Nickelodeon, Victoria Justice talks complex relationship with Dan Schneider. I felt like I was treated unfairly. So we're gonna hear from what she has to say.
Nickelodeon Alum Victoria Justice talks complex relationship with Dan Schneider. I felt like I was treated unfairly. Nickelodeon and Victorious Alum Victoria Justice is breaking her silence on Dan Schneider following the docuseries Quiet on Set. The Dark Side of Kids TV. In a new interview, Justice recalls her complex relationship with Schneider and feels she's owed an apology. Something that was very evident in the documentary is that Dan had a very large ego, Justice told Marie Claire. And sometimes that ego clouded his better judgment and affected the way he treated people, and there were times I felt like I was being treated unfairly. Justice says that nothing sexual ever happened with Schneider. She does recall some moments that were in poor taste. After watching the docuseries, Schneider said he owed people an apology, and to that, Justice said, I would say I'm definitely one of the people on that list. The fun-size star says she has not been in contact with Schneider since leaving Nickelodeon, aside from a handful of virtual and in-person reunions with the casts of Zoey 101 and Victorious. I'm not condoning any of his behavior, she said. At the end of the day, my relationship with Dan is a very complex one. I met him when I was 12 years old, and he's the person that gave me this big break. He completely changed my life. She continued, most likely I wouldn't be here where I am today if it weren't for him, and for him seeing something in me. For that I will always be grateful. After watching his apology, I think he recognizes that he did a lot of things wrong, and I think if he could step back into a time machine, he would do a lot of things differently. Justice follows a series of former Nickelodeon stars opening up about their time working with Schneider. Most recently, All That Alum Lori Beth Denberg claimed Schneider showed her pornography and initiated phone sex. In a statement to Deadline, Dan Schneider called Denberg's claims wildly exaggerated and, in most cases, false. Schneider admits to having made mistakes and exhibited poor judgment as a leader at the early stages of his career, adding, if I did that with respect to Lori Beth, I sincerely apologize to her. But I cannot apologize for things I did not do.
So I want to read this because there's some comments on both of these on Deadline. But before I go into those comments down below, he literally is saying that he, what did he say down here? That he made mistakes and exhibit poor judgment as a leader. So he's letting you know he did some things, but he's not, I don't think he's going to claim the sexual things. And he from what I'm knowing, from what I've heard, he has an anger temper. He has a very, very bad temper. He yells and screams. That's not a very healthy environment. That's not a very healthy work environment. So he's letting you know that he did some things, but he doesn't want to. I think the sexual things that she's accusing him of, which is Lori Beth, he doesn't want to. I don't think he want to claim that part. That's what I don't think he want to claim. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what he's thinking, that part of what she's saying is wildly exaggerated, in most cases false. That's what I think. So let me go back to the first part where with Lori Beth, and we're gonna read the comments. So this is underneath the Lori Beth part where I played the audio for you guys. We're gonna read the comments. If I did it, the old OJ defense, Robin needs to be asked about this stuff. Even if he didn't witness it personally, it seems that he knew and was complicit by doing absolutely nothing. Or they didn't do it. OJ never used it if I did it as a defense. He used it later to sell a book with a confession. Also, they were adults. So I don't know what this person is implying down here. I'm guessing this person down here, they're saying that they were all adults, and this is why a lot of adults, men and women, they don't like to come forward even if they're 18 years of age. People always tend to say, well, was it consent? Like they're all adults. We can't use that as an excuse, because when it comes to the workplace, it has to be a place where you're just going to work, as an employer, or in this case, working on the set. You need to keep it professional, and he didn't keep it professional. He's been alleged of sexually assaulting her. I mean, he pretty much groomed her, because he was the one, he started grooming her, I think was 17, if I'm not mistaken. They're saying 19, but I saw 17. I might be wrong. But he started showing her porno. And that's what people do when they want to groom you into what you can be groomed. I hear people say, grooming, but the grooming has to start when you're younger. And he was doing that. He groomed her into what he wanted her to be. He wanted her to feel comfortable with him putting his hand, because there's even more details where he put his mouth on her breast, or touching her breast, and there was some, she even said they were massaging each other. So does this just to be like, also they were adults? Like, come on now. Like, that's an excuse. And here we got Victoria Justice. We're going to go on and hear me some of these comments. I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. No EP is pleasant. People need to stop gabbing to the press and start suing these dudes. I feel like I've been reading about how Dan Schneider is a mess for most of my natural life. Either someone files charges, or we will all find something else to complain about. In just in case, there might not be anything to sue over. She said that he treated her unfairly and he owes her an apology. On the other hand, Lori Beth should have sued if her accusations is true. Agreed, but you have a lot of out-of-work actors right now with nothing but time on their hands, so expect them to keep commenting on anything trending to say irrelevant, on point, or maybe it's true. So this is what I'm saying. I think because these people, that's why she said that's why she didn't want to come out and say anything, because she could have lost her job, or he wouldn't write any sketches for her. And a lot of people need to understand, a lot of times when people are in certain circumstances, they can't speak because they need to work, they need to pay their bills. But I think what's going on now, because Hollywood is not making money, let's be clear, everybody is getting exposed. Cat Williams said this best. I don't know if I played at the beginning or played at the end of the video, but Cat Williams said it best. Everybody is going to get exposed. This is the year of exposure in 2024.
What you get? I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things, because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Shit. I kind of get this one there.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me one more time.
Right.
We good?
So y'all can sit here and say like, oh, he seems like a nice guy. Most of these people out here are nice. And I'm going to tell you something towards the end of this video that shocked the living daylight out of me. I've worked around somebody who was nice and decent. And you know what? I'm going to just tell you right now. So this is a lady I was taking care of in Kansas. And basically, she told me that she sent me a video of somebody. I don't know if I'll show you a video or not. She sent me a video of somebody and I'm looking and I'm like, this dude looks familiar. He looks like your neurology doctor.
Meet Brian Albers. This doctor in Kansas was recently charged with an incredibly disturbing crime. Meet Brian Albers. Brian is a pediatric neurologist in Kansas City, Missouri. Before his arrest, this is where he worked, at the Overland Park Medical Center. In doing some research for this TikTok, I saw a number of photos of Brian working closely with children. It's pretty disturbing to see him in these circumstances, given what I'm about to tell you. Well, on November 15th, 2023, Brian was charged in federal court on CP or CSAM charges. Allegedly, Brian had been recording children with hidden cameras. The police also discovered text messages that Brian had sent that read, "I'm going to jail. I'm going to lose my license. I do not want to die. I do not want my kids to see me dead." According to the person who actually reported this crime, they were asked by Brian themselves to head to the hospital to retrieve his electronics. Brian then asked the person to destroy these electronics because they contained, quote, bad stuff. Upon searching these devices, the authorities discovered something disturbing. They discovered over 1,006 explicit videos. Brian had been recording videos of his young patients using hidden cameras from December of 2020 all the way up until October of 2023. And yeah, you heard me say that right. He had over 1,000 videos on his devices. I think that makes these news reports that are still online that feature Brian interacting with children all the more disturbing. So Brian was taken into custody on November 16th, and the FBI is now actively asking people to provide any information they have about him. And I don't think the future looks too bright for Brian.
He was doing inappropriate things with children's, with children with video. He was doing sexual things inappropriately to them. This guy, I've met him. I've talked to him. He's a husband. He has kids of his own. He was very nice. He was very polite. He was not mean. He was not aggressive. But he did cruel things to children. So y'all can sit here and say, I don't know, he seems like a nice guy. Everybody seems like a nice guy once you get to know them. All right, so Drake Bell details extensive sexual abuse as a child star by Nickelodeon dialogue coach Brian Peck. So I'm going to play audio for you guys. And so I'm going to play the audio from Drake Bell to let you know that this is all spewing out because of the quiet of the set. But like I said, I've been hearing things about Nickelodeon for years, but it's finally coming out more and more as the year goes by. So let me play this audio real quick, of Drake Bell talking about Brian Peck. Excuse me, it was a video, excuse me. But as Drake Bell opens up about his abuse, quiet on the set, the dark side of Kids TV full interview recap. I'm only gonna play part of it.
I have never told my story publicly.
Drake would be in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian, and just touch Drake. Do things that, wait a second, what are you doing? Drake can put that on himself. And the thing is, this is in front of people. Then he'd maybe walk over to Drake and be feeding him some lines or whatever and put his arm around his waist, put his hand up on his shoulder and kind of run it down his arm and things like that. And this would happen routinely. Was just always uncomfortable.
Leo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is.
Yeah, his muscles.
I saw this video of Brian Peck on Growing Pains with Leonardo DiCaprio, grabbing his shoulder, running across him and going down his arm.
This is like a secret weapon. It's Arcade by Output, one of the greatest plugins that I've ever used.
That's the kind of behavior I saw him with my son. Same frickin' behavior. So I went to production and said, you know, I really am very uncomfortable with this guy, Brian Peck, always being around my son. I go, I don't see anything abnormal, but it just doesn't, I don't have a good feeling. And she goes, oh, well, I don't know if you knew it or not, but he's gay. Maybe you're just homophobic and you just, you know, you just don't understand that he's a touchy-feely guy. So I said, okay. And then it just kept not setting well with me. So I told people on the set, and I was ostracized. And then there was a birthday party for Drake. And Brian wanted to have it at his house. And I said, whoa, Brian, I don't want Drake having his birthday party at your house.
It was my 15th birthday. Brian suggested, oh, hey, you could perform and everybody can come. I lived in Orange County, which was an hour away, and everyone I wanted to come to my birthday was who I worked with on the show. And so it made it easy. It just didn't seem like something that was that out of the ordinary.
Then after I got his presents out of the car, I looked in the bag and I saw these birthday cards from Brian's friends that were at the party, and they were really inappropriate. They just had adult things in them, adult descriptions, and I thought, whoa, this is... And then I said, Drake, what is this? He goes, I don't know, I didn't even know I had those. And so we just left it at that.
The situation with Brian had all been building up. And so my dad started making it very difficult for Brian to be around me. I think Brian got a sense that my dad was on the watch. And so he started to really drive a wedge between my dad and me. He started talking about how my dad's stealing my money, nobody likes that my dad's on set, he's a real problem. So he just started making me believe that he was horrible for my career, I wasn't going to be able to move forward with him in it. And coming from someone like Brian, I was believing it because he's been in this business for so long and he must know more than us. Also because I was spending so much time more so around him than I was really my dad.
I think Drake was so distraught over everything that he avoided me, which is understandable. He was under a lot of, I don't want my dad to be my manager, I feel guilty about that.
And my mom and my dad had a very tumultuous relationship. They did not get along, and I think Brian saw that. So Brian really started getting into my mom's mind and telling her the same things he was telling me.
He found an attorney to find out about Drake's financial situation.
There was never any mishandling of any funds, but it was like an army against my dad.
After that, Drake had stayed at his mom for about a week, and then I got a phone call from his mom saying, Drake doesn't want you to be his manager anymore.
I was sleeping on the couch where I would usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I just opened my eyes, I woke up, and he was sexually assaulting me.
So, like I said, this is Love Reality. It's a YouTube channel. You can go watch the full, video for yourself, but I just wanted to show a little peep of it. As you can see, Brian Peck was the one who was coaching Drake Bell. All of this was happening on the set. And later on in that video, he's going to explain to you what the things are happening. I didn't want to go through it. I like things like that. I just don't like listening to. I know a lot of people, it doesn't bother, but when it comes to like somebody's child who's vulnerable, I don't like to hear that things because like I said, I've had this happen to a loved one of mine that I know, and this is why they have a mental disorder as we speak. So I don't like to hear those things, but you can go hear for yourself. But you see what he did? He drove a wedge between the family. He knew that there was already issues between the mom and the dad. Did you see that? All this stuff was going on underneath, Nickelodeon's umbrella. Also, another thing too about Drake Bell. Drake Bell maintains innocence in child endangerment case, says he pleaded guilty due to finances. So he was accused of stuff too as well. That's why he had to came out about what he went through, because he went through some stuff too as well. But if you guys did not know, Bell appeared on an episode of Dear Media's Not Skinny But Not Fair Fat podcast Tuesday, where he discussed the aftermath of open up about sexual abuse he faced as a minor by Nickelodeon voice coach Brian Peck in the Quiet on the Set docuseries, and the fallout after he was accused of sexual contact and grooming an underage fan. So if you didn't know, he too as well did the same thing, because pretty much it's like a domino effect. Brian Peck did it to him, and so therefore Drake Bell continued to do it to somebody else. So I responded on some DMs and was incredibly irresponsible and got myself into a conversation that I shouldn't have had, and I ended up finding out that I was talking to someone that I shouldn't have been talking to, and it snowballed into these allegations that were not true, and it just turned into this big thing, Bell said, of the 2021 case. The victim alleged Bell began grooming her when she was 12, and that by the time she was 15, Bell was exchanging explicit photos online, engaged in sexual contact. I was being investigated, and that was really difficult on my family. And thankfully, through 18 months of subpoenaing my social media and computers and witnesses and everything, it turned out a lot most of what was being accused of me was not true. The singers and actors say he cut communication the moment he found out her age. I think she got upset, and she was coming to the concert still, and I was doing everything I could to kind of keep my distance. Then she made all these allegations of things but happened at a concert. But throughout the investigation, there were witnesses who were there the whole time who refuted it. People who weren't even connected with me that were friends of hers, and her families that were there the whole time. And so no, a lot of the things that she said about sending inappropriate pictures and things like this, it was about to be investigated and show that none of that existed, he claimed. The Drake and Josh star admits that the conversation was inappropriate, but said he only pleaded guilty because I just financially was just devastated, and I just had a son, and I didn't want to put my family through all of this anymore. So I ended up going through the process the way that I did. Bell shares a son with his estranged wife, Janet Vaughn, filed for divorce from Bell in 2023 after they married in 2018, according to People. All right. What did the victim say happened in Drake Bell's child endangerment case? In 2021, the victim in Bell's case spoke at length in court about the damage the actor had done to her life, saying that he began grooming her when she was 12. So that's later on talking about it as well. So if you want to hear more about it, if you want to read more about it, yeah, I'll put a link down below in the comment area so you can go see for yourself. So yeah, he was accused of it too. He pleaded guilty due to finances, but I wouldn't have pleaded guilty if I was in his shoes. So I don't know if this is true or not, but Drake, it just seems a little odd that you pleaded guilty due to finances. I would have fought this. I wouldn't care if I had lived on the streets. I would have fought this. Just saying. But anyway, moving on. So the apology that Victoria Justice was talking about was this. I want you guys to listen to this apology. It's a bit odd. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I'm gonna play just a little clip of it, like a 6-minute clip.
I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation.
Former Nickelodeon producer Dan Schneider issues a video apology following the release of Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. Schneider, who parted ways with the network in 2018, is speaking out in response to the Investigation Discovery series, which recently aired. During a video conversation with iCarly actor Bobby K. Bowman, also known as Boogie, posted on Schneider's official YouTube account, the ex-showrunner says,
Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult, me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret, and I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology.
Schneider produced some of Nickelodeon's most successful shows, including All That, The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, and iCarly. One element of the special focused on his asking crew members to massage Schneider on set, and Dan responds in the video with,
It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well. Yeah.
Schneider also adds that any questionable content or jokes in the shows should be cut from vaulted and rerun episodes.
Every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny, okay? Now we have some adults looking back at them 20 years later through their lens, and they're looking at them and they're saying, oh, you know, I don't think that's appropriate for a kid show. And I have no problem with that. If that's how anyone feels, let's cut those jokes out of the show.
He also says that multiple network executives approve the content and look of his shows, and that dozens of adults were on set and never raised concerns.
We had executives in LA. We had executives in New York.
So two coasts.
Two coasts of approval, yes. And by the way, approval at every stage, really. Okay. And I'm talking about wardrobe. I'm talking about makeup, sound, sets, dialogue, jokes, everything. And we're also shooting it in front of all sorts of adults and caregivers and the set teacher and the families. Everybody's watching it. And if anybody had said anything, hey, we don't like that, that's not appropriate, then it would have been cut out.
E! News has reached out to Nickelodeon for comment on Dan's interview and the Quiet on Set docuseries and has not yet heard back. Investigation Discovery dropped the trailer for its 4-part docuseries back in February. Per a press release, the series alleged there was, quote, an insidious environment rife with allegations of abuse, sexism, racism, and inappropriate dynamics with its underage stars and crew, and specifically focuses on allegations of a toxic work environment involving Dan Schneider. In the series, former cast and crew members shared their experiences working for the network and Schneider.
In the early 90s, Nickelodeon was kid everything. And you better hope that your house had cable.
Wasn't there to educate you. We were there to have fun, to get slimed, to be entertained.
And this is when Dan Schneider arrives, Nickelodeon's golden boy. He created these shows that were hugely successful for them.
No one had ever really done sketch comedy starring kids for kids.
He launched the careers of child actors who became major stars.
For 20 years, he shaped children's entertainment and culture.
Thank you for being here.
But that marked one of the darkest chapters. Working for Dan was like being in an abusive relationship.
Dan's treatment of people on his shows was an open secret.
So my lawyer filed complaints, gender discrimination, hostile work environment, harassment, and it was so devastating.
How safe can any kids be in that environment?
There would be even bigger problems down the line with actual pedophiles on set. These are 3 predators who worked at Nickelodeon, all in a short amount of time.
Hey guys, we're ready for you.
It was a toxic environment. It made me trust people less.
We were there for so many hours. You get comfortable with people until you're not.
I had no idea what I was saving my son from. It's a house of horrors.
They find this enormous trove of child pornography.
The officer said we found Ziploc bags, each one with a girl's name on it.
11 charges of child sexual abuse related to a child actor.
It made me wonder who was being hurt.
I've been waiting 17 years for today.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
On one of our shows?
Yes.
In a 2021 interview with the New York Times.
So yeah, that interview that he was having with that guy with the long hair, the black guy, he's been on a show, like this black guy, he's been on a show already. I don't know what shows, but I remember seeing him on one of the one of the shows on Nickelodeon. So this whole interview that they had between them was weird and odd. It seemed like Dan Schneider was in control of the interview and not the interviewer who was supposed to be asking him a whole bunch of direct questions. Very odd. Another thing too was there were people off of who was it? Was it Ned Declassified? Not everybody had these issues on their set. I know Kenan and Kel has spoke out too as well. Not everybody.
It's a tough subject, because it's tough for me because I can't really speak on things that I never witnessed. You know what I'm saying? Because all these things happened after I left, basically, and Dan wasn't really on Kenan and Kel like that. I mean, he got it created by credit, but it was a different showrunner, so our worlds weren't really overly, overlapping like that outside of all that necessarily. And then all that negativity kind of started happening outside of our tenure there. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really aware of a lot of it.
Though Kenan said he didn't share the same experience as others who have spoken out, he believes the expose is a good thing, despite being a tough watch.
My heart goes out to, anybody that's been victimized or their families, you know what I mean? I think it's a good thing that the doc is out and it's, putting things, on display that need to be, stories that need to be told for this, accountability's sake. But it's definitely tough to watch because I have fond memories of that place, and I have fond memories of, my co-stars and stuff like that. So to hear that they've gone through terrible things like that it's really tough.
While Tamara noted that her show has reached out to both Dan Schneider and to the documentary's production company, the SNL star interjected to say they should continue investigating.
Also reached out, of course, to the production company, and they said that, they investigate all of these things, investigate all of the allegations.
Well, investigate more. I mean, because it's it's supposed to be a safe space, it's supposed to be a safe place for kids. And to hear all about that is just how dare you,
Kenan also spoke about his former Nickelodeon co-star Amanda Bynes, who he highlights in his memoir, revealing that he has always rooted and cared for her.
Amanda was the sweetest, happiest girl, and she loved to laugh. She was an explosion of bright innocence and joy. I connected with her because she was laser focused like me and had a very sweet, supportive family. Unfortunately, some leeches sent her down a dark path. When she went left for a little while, we all were sad. I cared about her, and I still do. She's good people.
That's a good quote.
It's a beautiful quote.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful quote.
That's a good quote.
I just saw a post. She's trying to go to nail school. She wants to go to cosmetology school, and I kind of follow her from afar. Have you been able to talk with her lately at all?
I unfortunately haven't spoken to Amanda since she was really, really young. When she was doing her first movies. I think the soccer movie was around that time. It was the last time I actually saw her. So,
but you
I'm
chose
just
to
rooting
write
for
about
her
it,
from afar because I'm just.
So let me see if I can find that Ned Declassified video because I've been looking at some of the Ned Declassified casts in a different light, especially with that other girl. Hold on. Let me see if I can find them.
Daniel, we told you never to speak about that. Get back in your hole, Daniel, and give me your holes. Sorry, we shouldn't joke about this. We really shouldn't.
This is awful. Why are we doing this?
Because this is about us. Listen, our set was not like that. And no, it's f***ing awful. The Drake Bell is that's crazy to hear. That is man. And that never came out, which is really wild. Really wild.
Until he was talking about it.
Boop.
Okay.
Oh, so y'all were in on it. Oh, God.
Damn.
I'm not talking about this anymore.
No.
Not talking about this anymore.
No.
Guys, we can't joke like this. Jesus. Guys, we're sometimes humor helps us move through things,
100%.
We need Missy on the pod coming.
Daniel, I told you.
Get back in your hole, Daniel, and give me your holes. Sorry, we shouldn't joke about this. We really should.
Drake Bell is calling out the Ned's Declassified cast over their quiet on set jokes.
Daniel, we told you never to speak about that. Get back in your hole, Daniel, and give me your holes. Sorry, we shouldn't joke about this. We really shouldn't.
Drake Bell retweeted a clip of that and said, "Ned's declassless. This is wild. Laugh it up, guys. Laugh it up." Now, this is coming just days after the investigation Discovery documentary called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, where Drake Bell himself came forward and talked about the horrific abuse he endured from one of the Nickelodeon dialogue coaches. The documentary covered some of the horrible things that were happening on set at these Nickelodeon shows as well. Ned's crew tried to get serious on their Instagram Live after they made that joke and say what happened to Drake Bell was horrible. The internet is not having it. Follow along for all of the updates and let us know your thoughts in the
So I just played those two audios for you guys, and how Drake Bell also came back and clapped back at them. Yeah, I've been giving this cast a side eye. It's him and the other young lady. I don't know her name. She says something too, which was weird. She was picking at how the way people were dancing. Let me see if I can find that for you guys.
But that was not what got. Watch the video. Okay, let me play the video. Watch the video. So this was the video that got people outraged, but there's more to it. Okay.
Hey, are we okay? What the fuck is this?
So after she posted this video, a lot of people, like when I saw this video, are like, it's not that deep, people. It's not that deep. But there were backstory. So when she posted this video on TikTok, some people went to the comment section to nicely ask her and nicely educate her that, you know what, this is not right. Don't do this. Is our culture. And she's more like, he, our culture, or what do we like? Okay, I think the person said something about you're mocking our culture. I'm going to leave a screenshot of the comment the person dropped, because it's on my phone and I'm using my phone to film. Okay, so the person was like, this dance is part of our culture. You are kind of mocking our culture. Okay, don't like. She was like, oh, our culture. Like with a laughing bit, like she didn't take it serious even when this person was trying to correct her and educate her, and things just went on fast. She deleted the video, but you know we have the videos. Okay, she deleted the video and things just went spiral out of control. People were dragging her. I understand why people were dragging her. I understand why people were dragging her. And she did something. She went to her tweet and she kind of deleted some of her tweets too. And that just got people like myself like, sis, why are you deleting some of your tweets? Why are you doing it? So after the drag was, they were dragging her from heaven and earth, back and front. She went on Instagram to do this.
Okay, I just have to say right now that the hate in my inbox is not okay. Okay? I did not mean anything in any kind of way. I am learning every day, as I think everybody is. And this kind of hate just needs to evaporate from the planet, no matter who it's directed towards. Crocodile tears, no, dude. Like, this is like my soul out there. If you know anything about what I stand for or what I believe in, you know that it's not this. I am sorry you were offended. I think we all need to vibrate higher for the future. And I know I'm going to keep learning. I think, like, for my own mental health, I needed to take a step back from social media. I kind of felt like that anyway, but it's like, I'm not here to offend or belittle anybody at all. I thought that the millennial and Gen Z thing was a thing on TikTok.
My own is that, okay, so that's what she did. See, she came on Instagram and she was crying and apologizing, and not apologizing directly like, oh, we're all learning. See, I don't know why some, like, if you feel you did something wrong, why don't you just come up straight to just come and apologize straight up. For me, that is. But if you didn't do anything wrong, you don't need to apologize, people. Like, I don't know where that, like, I don't get this. I think it's just like a format where you come online and you cry. And for me, it's like a format now. I'm just like, this is how everybody's going to apologize, okay? So, do I think it's genuine? I don't know. But I just feel it's like a thing now. I know, yeah, you get emotional and all that, but it's just a thing now. I'm not trying to disregard our apology. No, I'm just saying that why is it everybody come online to apologize same way? I just wonder. Okay, so our castmate on Devin went on TikTok to say this.
What's up, man? Yeah, thanks for the question. Hope you're well. I'm gonna do my best to give you my take on this, even though TikTok, this is not my favorite medium for this conversation because there's no real way to have a good back and forth that's needed for this type of deep conversation to have like healing and understanding be heard. But yeah, man, I'll talk about it. So there's a few different elements at play here that I want to talk about. Life is complicated, right? And it's easy and people want to reduce things down to these very clear things that they say, no, this is what it is and this is what it's about. But there's a couple different elements happening here that I need to talk about. All right, so first we have the story of Black TikTok, right? That white creators like Charli D'Amelio and Addison Rae have gotten wildly popular and successful, doing things that Black creators created but aren't getting the credit or fame or success from. And that story of Black TikTok is tied to the greater narrative of historical systemic oppression of Black people in this country and the denial of their success and rights. And there is pain there. There is pain there, and I understand it. And this generation, we live in a time where people are standing up for and to that. Next, we have Lindsay making a very unnecessary video hating on the most popular trend on TikTok that happens to be created by Black creators and getting rather reactionary and defensive in her comment section before deleting the video. And if you know Lindsay personally, you know she's a hater on all sorts of things. Black, white, brown, popular, unpopular, and can be a reactionary and defensive person. But she's also got a good heart and is dealing with personal issues and challenges that none of you know anything about. And so now we have a perceived racial bias and perceived microaggression that's possibly a good opportunity for education of some ignorance that's being turned into hate and telling her to kill herself in her DMs. So people are out here standing for a principle and standing for people of color, which I get. But I'm also gonna defend my friend's well-being because friends don't get canceled in real life and life's complicated. And can she maybe be a little ignorant and defensive and reactionary? Yeah, but I also love her and will defend her and stand for her success in this life because that's what you do. And for that, I'm being called racist now. And that's the nuance of our time.
Yes, so after he said all that, he was also dragged. Like, everybody is dragging everybody right now on TikTok. Black TikTok is lit right now, guys. So, okay. Black TikTok is lit, people. So, they dragged the hell out of him, calling him that he's supporting his friend. Why is he not? People, okay. So after that, the Black guy on the show, on that same Net Declassified, see, I don't even know the show. Net Declassified, the only Black guy on that show, went ahead to also defend her, and there was the video he posted.
Okay, hey, Lindsay, what it do? Yeah, it's me, your one Black friend. Yeah, let society tell it. Hey, so check this out. You done got yourself into a bit of a pickle, all right? You fumbled the hell out of that bag, right? I can't make no promises, but I think we can soften the blow a little bit. I might have to release released that sex tape from '07. Oh, no? You say you feel like that'll over-sexualize black bodies and we shouldn't participate in that? Okay, we'll keep that under wraps. Maybe, what if we... Yes, exactly. That's what I knew you took the words right out of my mouth. We advocate for reparations for American descendants of slaves. You're a genius. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, we're on it. Let's do it.
And they dragged him. You know, they dragged him. So everybody.
So yeah, you would think that they learned from this incident back in 2021 and they came right back and did the same thing over again and got dragged again on another controversy. So yeah, I've been kind of giving the Ned Declassified. It is weird because I used to watch these shows when I was a kid, and to see some of these people act like, you know, just tone deaf, don't care about anybody's emotions. And I get it. I know a lot of people are touchy. You got to be careful when you're on social media because people are ready to cancel you. They ready to drag you. So it's just child, like, yeah. But going back to the original topic. All right. So before I wrap it up, I want to share this article with you guys. Dan Schneider defends Amanda Bynes' relationship, says I was concerned for her safety. This was back in March 21st. Very interesting. I'm going to play this article for you guys, but it sounds like he was trying to get guardianship over her. That's just me. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but listen to what he had to say about Amanda Bynes. And then also after this article, I'm going to play some other videos that a YouTuber made that's showing how, you know, weird and odd and creepy how Dan Schneider was around, you know, other people who he worked with. I'm also going to play that. And I'm also going to play a skit that Diddy made with the kids on Nickelodeon. And that's going to be it. I just wanted to share these article and these videos with you guys. I couldn't end it without sharing it with you guys. So let me know what you think about them. But yeah, here we go.
Quiet on set. The dark side of kids' TV ID. Dan Schneider has defended his interactions with a teenage Amanda Bynes, noting he supported her when she chose to seek emancipation at 16. The 58-year-old producer, who has been accused of inappropriate behavior on children's TV show sets, spoke out following the release of Quiet on Set. The Dark Side of Kids TV, which aired on ID, but can be viewed on Max. The documentary aired shocking allegations about a harmful work environment at the network. Dan, who filmed in a hot tub with 16-year-old Amanda in 2002, claimed he was there for Amanda after she left home. He stressed his concern for her safety as she made the decision to move away from her parents. Dan opened up about Amanda's bid for emancipation during a conversation with Bobby Boog E. Bowman on his YouTube platform. He emphasized how Amanda, aiming for independence at the age of 16 or 17, sought to disentangle herself from her parents. This was a step that was somewhat common among young stars at that time. Including Dan as a key part of her support system, Amanda turned to him for help. She wanted that for herself, so she turned to her team, which included her lawyer, her agent, her manager, her publicist, me, because she included me as part of her team, thought of me that way, he explained. We supported her, she tried to get emancipated and it ended up not working out and she didn't. Drake Bell says take it easy on Josh Peck as he remains silent amid Nickelodeon assault. iCarly creator Dan Schneider breaks silence and apologizes for inappropriate behavior. Ariana Grande sexualized at young age and resurfaced scenes from Nickelodeon role. Dan shared a story about how things escalated one night when Amanda reached out to him after a disagreement with her parents. The conversation prompted him to ensure her safety by contacting someone he trusted to escort her to the police. He recounted, one night very late, well after midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning, phone rang, I answered, it was Amanda. She was upset. She was in distress. She had had some conflict with her parents, I think her father, and she called me. I was immediately concerned about her safety. I called someone that I knew was fairly nearby. That person was able to go and pick her up. I knew she was safe, I felt better. She ended up being taken to the police. Despite initially seeking legal emancipation from her parents, Lynn and Rick, Amanda eventually decided against continuing with the petition. Trending. In the video, Dan responded to the recent documentary Quiet on the Set, acknowledging it prompted him to reflect on his previous actions. He recognized that he had crossed professional lines and expressed that he owes significant apologies to certain individuals. Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult. Me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret. I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology, he shared. Dan has faced numerous allegations and was sued over claims of gender discrimination, creating a hostile work environment, and harassment, as claimed in the documentary.
This is why I'm in Hollywood.
Yeah, eat your cereal, kids.
Did she say nice things about me? Because I will tase her if necessary.
Uh-oh.
I have the taser. We haven't had to use it in a long time. But
I said lots of nice things.
No, I said nice things about you, too.
Oh.
That's going to get on TV. What? That's going to get on TV.
These videos make me so nervous.
Why?
Hey, you better say your name and get something.
Just a little improv.
Because you never know when you're doing it.
Little man, I was like, what?
You don't. You never know. Is this good on YouTube? This better not be on the tube when I get home.
This will not, I would not put this on the
Put
tube.
this on the tube. I'm going to lose my mind.
You know what's going to happen if I put this on YouTube. What?
You have to
You know.
I think that's more than that. Are you official orange from now on?
Remember that episode of iCarly when this British guy came on the show and called everyone a bunch of hobknockers?
I swear, you're all just a bunch of hopknockers.
Hopknockers?
I'm going.
So I looked up what it meant on Urban Dictionary, and what is this show?
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
What do you have, Dad? What does it do?
It propels to spitball around the house.
Right here.
She's a star, so she gets she gets a big spitball shooter thing. Yes, yeah. She gets the extra handy dandy equipment. Right? I want. Hey. No, hey, wait. Can we get a close up of this? Can you get a close up of this one?
You go, boy.
Hey,
Amanda, demonstrate. Spitball right now.
You see there, it's all a paper and you get a gallon and a fresh spit, and then you spit in here and you put a little target in this thing, my jig, and then you spit, then you spit with the jig, and then you spit right there, and then you blast it. Dry wash. Throat is my instrument. I'm a throat player.
Doesn't count.
And it sounds kind of gross.
A D?
I've always gotten A's in music. How does a person go from an A to a D?
Happened to me in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to my movie. Today my special guest is the executive producer of the Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Now, you're the executive producer of the show.
Yes, I'm the executive producer and the head writer.
You actually wrote the words we're saying to each other right now.
Yeah. Yes, I wrote this whole conversation that we're having right now.
Since you're the executive producer.
Give me an IC. Come in, IC before since you're the executive producer.
I see.
Yeah, and then they can turn off the lasers and we can get out of here.
You'd have to be pretty skinny to slide under that laser beam and not hit it.
So which one of us is the flattest?
And stop giggling. Take 4.
Okay, what did the young shrimp say when his mom asked him why he wouldn't share any of his toys?
All right, no. No, that sounded like this. It sounded like, okay, what did the young shrimp say when his mom said he wouldn't share any of his toys? Try it again, but more cat-like.
Okay. Oh my God.
Try one more time.
Okay.
Ready? Take 32. Say it. Action.
Okay, what did the young shrimp say?
What did the young shrimp say? It sounded like, what did the young shrimp say?
I really can't. I can't.
All right,
I
try
can't
it.
breathe.
Take O.
Just let you know.
Take W. Go!
Okay, what did the young shrimp say?
No!
It's like Mike and Molly.
You two were fighting, and you yanked Festus right out of his grub truck, and now he's in the hospital.
I just wanted a tamale.
Well, you went and broke his tamale-making arm, so now what?
We're sorry.
Yeah, well, until Festus is out of the hospital, you two are gonna work the grub truck.
Gross!
Trina?
I'm not gonna. Why should I?
And the camera was.
That was amazing. That was one of the better things I've ever heard.
Hey!
Hi, what's going on here?
You didn't cut out that part.
Why are you sitting on the floor of the set?
Because we are.
They are. Did you just bark?
No. No, I did not.
What's happening back here? Oh, no!
I haven't got my costume on yet. Are we close to rolling?
Sorry. Caught Jerry in a bad mood.
Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down? I'm thirsty. It's not possible. This has been me in a video. Come on, give up the juice.
So Dan Schneider, he can sit here and say that, he didn't really do anything and things are false. But like I said, I've been hearing things for a long time about Nickelodeon. And when I finally heard, I didn't believe it a little bit, but what is going on here? Like this it's just weird. So when I saw Troy drop that documentary, I was like, you know what? I've been hearing a lot of weird things about Nickelodeon. Finally, when he put it all together, I was like, yeah, something had to happen around Nickelodeon. So when this Quiet on the Set came out, I was like, hey, I was waiting for it. I mean, this is the year of exposure, people. This is 2024. Cat Williams said it best. I mean, look at all the people who we've been talking about. I talked about people are talking about Drake and about things that he's accusing of Kendrick Lamar of, and Kendrick Lamar is accusing him of stuff. And then you have the p.diddy situation going on over there. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot going on this year, y'all. But let me know what you think down below in the comment area. But as for now, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Dolce and Gabbana.
not caring, they be sharing all their money, got me wearing fly. Girl, but I ain't asking, they say they